You know, you ever think about a dog chasing a car? I've spoken about this before on another episode a while back, but think about it. What is a dog going to do when he catches a car? What, they're going to try to bury the car or something, bring it in the backyard? Now, sometimes for many of us as sales professionals, we're so crazy about the journey of getting in front of the decision maker and trying to pitch the product. Well, we go through the rigmaroles of trying to use LinkedIn and the different strategy to get in front of them. But when you get in front of that decision maker, when you get over the guard wall, do you know what to say? Do you have a strategy? Do you have a plan that's going to help that deal to move forward to the desired outcome? If not, ladies and gentlemen, today, my friend Oscar, he's going to tell you how you can do that. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we have Oscar Chavez, and Oscar's going to talk to us about the idea of getting over the guard wall. Once you get over the guard wall and you're meeting with said decision maker, when you're sitting there before the CEO and she says, "Tell me, what can I do for you today? How can I help you? What do you want?" You have a minute. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? How are you going to be able to build value in your product or in the service you have to offer? If you go about doing a regular old pitch, you might find yourself not succeeding. We want to make sure you're fully prepared. And today, Oscar's going to break down what you can do when you get over that guard wall, how you can actually get past the guard, so to speak, and be able to have those effective conversations that can help your deal progress forward. I want you to write down one or two things and also share this on LinkedIn, things that jump out to you today from what Oscar shares. He's going to give you a world of information. Oscar is a best-selling author on Amazon. He is a speaker. He's also an individual that coaches and helps companies and businesses to be able to really turn around and thrive. And he's helped 5 organizations really, really succeed. And you're going to hear about that today in this episode. Let's go ahead and dive in, take some of Oscar's experience, and apply it to our sales efforts. Project. But let's talk about this over the guard wall method and how this can help us. Do you mind breaking that down for us? What exactly this is if somebody don't really understand it?
Yeah, wonderful. So I think the over the guard wall method really paints a picture or illustrates the result of what happens if you actually manage to successfully get over the gatekeeper. So the C-level, the executive, the person in charge, the one that makes the decisions, is really the ones with the key to the budget. They're the key to really scaling your sales capability, your sales number. By being able to double the amount of sales that you would typically make in a year, you can do that by getting to the executive. And so the over the guard wall method is really a method of getting around and I say this jokingly, but I call it nerd syndrome, which is, you know, a lot of sales reps spend a lot of their time spinning their wheels, spending time with people that want to see the demos. They're not decision makers. They don't influence properly. They don't have the right mission or the right purpose to actually buy your technology or buy your solution. And so what happens to the salesperson is that they end up spinning their wheels with people that don't actually make decisions. We need to get in front of the executive. We have to get in front of the executive if we want to scale what we're doing from a sales perspective. Now, the problem that people have sometimes when they get to the executive is they spend all of their time preparing on what to pitch. I'm going to be in front of this executive. What am I going to pitch? I'm going to put this pack together, which so I can tell them all the great stuff that we've been doing. Maybe they're an existing client. Maybe we'll want to share all the great things with them. Like, we'll just want to say all the stuff. And unfortunately, saying all the stuff just doesn't work with executives. You have to be in a position to listen. So over the guard wall method, so that's the first component, I guess, is really getting to the gatekeeper. And we can talk about tactics and strategies to actually do that in a moment. Component, and the reason that it's so important is because of this. When you sit down with the executive and they tell you about their project, they tell you about their plan, they tell you about their pain points, they tell you about the things that they tell you about what they're trying to achieve in the next 12 months. They tell you how they measure their success. These are some of the answers to the questions you'll be asking. But when they tell you this information, you take this back into the organization, into the people that report up into that decision maker. You start then meeting with the influencers, and every time you meet with one of the influencers downstream, so not a decision maker, like a manager or something like that of a division, when you meet with that person, you can then say, look, I'm here because I met with your executive, and these are the things that we're trying to accomplish together. And that's like, you know, when you go to a concert and you can stand in the general queue with everybody that's lining up for hours to get into the concert, or you can walk up with a VIP ticket. Having the executive conversation is exactly like the VIP ticket. You don't have to wait in line. You cut right through all the noise and all the 40,000 other projects that everybody has on, and you cut straight to the front of the queue. So that's really the nuts and bolts, Donald, of the over the Guardwall method, that we can increase our performance by really focusing on executives.
So you mentioned, like, you know, there are some particular tactics you can do. So once we get there, but what are some of those things that we can do again to get past that gatekeeper, so to speak, in that process?
Yeah, so I find there's probably three key things, I would say, Donald, that will really help boost performance here. The first thing is, and I hate to say this, but it's true, it's fear. People are so scared of being judged, Donald. They're so scared of being rejected that they don't actually focus on the executives. It's much easier to go and have conversations with the people downstream, the more technical people. Unfortunately, a lot of salespeople are drilled into learning so much about their products and technology that they forget to learn about their customers. They forget to learn about what's going on in their world. Let's say you're talking to a chief financial officer. You've got to really understand what's in it for the chief financial officer. Or let's say a chief risk, and I can give you a specific story later on. But let's say you're meeting with a chief risk officer. You've really got to understand what the chief risk officer cares about, what he talks about in the boardroom, what his board expect of him, why he has a position on the board, what his responsibility is. Under what circumstances will he get fired if he doesn't do his job properly? Under what circumstances is he confused and overwhelmed at all of the people trying to say different things to him? So you've really got to understand and get over the fear that all these executives, all these decision makers, they're human beings just like us. First thing, getting rid of fear. The second thing is mindset, and I think this is paramount, especially in the COVID world. Because I work with a lot of salespeople, Donald. Sometimes I hear salespeople say, it's never been harder to get meetings than right now. And I think that mindset is fundamentally broken. It's never been easier to get sales meetings than it is right now, right in the here and now. So if our mindset is, I have no value to add to an executive, it's hard to get meetings, I've got nothing to say to them. What if my boss doesn't like that I've met with this executive? What if? That mindset really needs to be sharp to say, you know what, I do have value to give here. Even if I just listen and I make the other person feel understood, I have immense value to add. So that's the second one, mindset. In front of executives, and we have to put the focus in. If we don't put the focus in, then our lives are just so much harder. We end up working a lot harder. About 60% of salespeople or tech salespeople are not hitting their quota according to Harvard Business Review. So it is, whilst I say it's never been easier to have meetings right now, Donald, the opposite is true, is that it's never been harder to sell because people are a lot more guarded. So both of those things that might seem diametrically opposed are true depending on the person's level of fear, depending on the person's level of mindset, and depending on the person's level of focus. So if you don't have these three things, then you sit in the category of it's hard, it's difficult, I don't get the sales result, poor me, victim mentality, versus, you know what, I'm going to add so much value to the world, I'm going to get in front of executives, I'm going to do bigger, better deals than I've ever done in my whole career, and now is the opportune time.
Love it, man. Well, if listeners out there want to get in touch with you, they're fascinated by the things you're sharing and want to continue to learn from you, how do they connect with you?
So they can go to my website, oscar-chavez.com. That's oscar-chavez.com. Or on Facebook, I'm Oscar Chavez Entrepreneur. On Instagram, I'm the Oscar Chavez. Or they can look me up on LinkedIn as well.
That was the one and only Oscar Chavez. You can go ahead and connect with him. You can find him on LinkedIn. You can find the link down below as well in the show notes, as well as some other places on our website. Go to salesevangelist.com or to tscstudios.io, and you can get an opportunity to connect with Oscar and learn about him and the great things that he's doing. Listen, I share stuff like this because I really want to help you. I want you to thrive and succeed. I want you to do your very best in your role. I want you to be able to capitalize on opportunities that's going to help you to be the best seller in your organization. You got to take these things though and apply them. Connect with Oscar, check out his books, check out some of the great things that he's offering. And you know what as well? Check out our sponsors because they're giving you some great offers and deals, and these things will help you in your sales efforts tremendously. I promise you. Big shout out to my friend Scipio. As always, I want you to be able to thrive. I want you to be able to go out and find those ideal customers. I want you to know what to say when you reach out to them. I want you to close more deals. But most importantly, I want you to raise your level of thinking and go out and do big things. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video today. If you enjoyed the content, I ask you to go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up at the bottom right-hand corner. Also, to make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This way, we'll keep you up to date with all the latest sales strategies, latest tools, and things that are going to help you to not only find more prospects, but to close more deals. Thanks so much.